as we went through Thessalonians and now into Peter, we're going to be talking about how your behavior exemplifies which one you're in. We did that a little bit in Thessalonians, that you should walk as children of light, you should be doing things as sons of light, that kind of thing. What you're doing, your actions exemplify which condition you're in. Are you in darkness or are you in light? For those of you that are wondering about, well, should I still do this or should I still do that, or I don't know what to, he says, newborn babe. What do newborn babes have? Nothing. They own nothing. They have nothing. They don't have toys. You can provide them with them, but as a newborn babe, they can't even play with them, right? They have nothing. You provide them and do everything for them. Who provides all that? The one in their vertical, their mother, their father, right? Or their children, their siblings. But there's those that love them, that have a role to provide for them, and they trust that completely because they have no choice. They're not conscious of anything else. They have no reason to doubt, have trust issues, fear issues, problem issues, but they're newborn babes. They naturally assume everything is going to be great. But if you've tasted that the master is good, then you should be willing to act like a newborn and put everything down and then seek the unadulterated milk. Problem is, there's an awful lot of people that are teachers of the school of adulterated milk. Now, of course, here's the challenge. Probably 0 of them think they're teaching adulterated milk. So your job is really cut out for you. They all think they're teaching unadulterated milk. I certainly do. I think every teacher does. So, but you have to do the discerning. You have to seek through the Father and the Son and the Ruach to help you understand, what's what. But you have to die. They stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't. Never mind. But that's what you're doing. You're stabbing and doing stuff, but you can't kill it because you really don't want it to die. Yes, I just sang something from Hotel California. Okay. I do that because it just makes Manny's day. Okay, so I got to get the obligatory song reference in there somewhere. But that's part of the problem is you're like that ridiculous movie zombie something. It won't die, okay? But that part of you has got to be buried. There are lots of verses, especially in the Brit, in the New Testament, okay, that out of context sound like something has already been accomplished or happened. He starts off by saying, chosen according to the foreknowledge, set apart by the Spirit unto obedience. That's chapter 1. Then he says, hold on a second, you need to put aside then all these things and come as a newborn babe, if you've indeed tasted, and then draw near to him. Oh, but wait a minute, then he tells you as if it's completed that you're a spiritual house and you're a set-apart priesthood. And that can confuse you in your mind and in your emotions because you could easily ignore all of the previous admonitions about how this process works and just said, hey, I'm a set-apart priesthood. No. If you're obedient, there can be no shame. When is there shame? When you're disobedient. When do your children act ashamed and embarrassed because you told them not to do something, they did it anyway, and it blew up in their face, and now they don't know what to do and they don't know what to say because they're ashamed, and their head hangs down a little bit, and they're staring at the floor. But if they did what you said, if they followed instruction, even if it didn't work, there's no shame. But belief is an action. It's not an intellectual, emotional, or spiritual concept. It's an action. If I tell you that something is hot, don't touch it. If you believe me, you don't touch it. But you could tell me you believe me and still touch it. Then did you really believe me? No. They knew and experienced and believed that Elohim existed. They heard his voice at Mount Sinai. But then did their behavior exemplify their belief? No. They were laid low in the desert because of their lack of belief. Not belief in his existence, just in their belief that they needed to actually listen. You see? So, well, I'm a Christian and I believe on the Messiah and I believe on him, so therefore I can't be put to shame. Well, it all depends on what you do. If you're doing things that are shameful, you're going to be put to shame. Believing in him isn't going to change any of that. If I appoint you to something, what have I done? I've given you a position, and that position has an expectation of performance of something, some sort of duties or authority or something, right? If I appoint you something, there's an expectation that you have some sort of duties or responsibilities, etc. I mean, I'm not giving you a gold watch saying you're retired, go enjoy life. I'm appointing you to a position. That's an appointment. So I now have an expectation that you will take fiduciary responsibility over something. You have a task or people or something that you are now responsible for. You are now being set free out of the prisons, out of the darkness. You know, when it says Yeshua went to those in prison, he wasn't talking about like literal prisons. Talking about this. Oh, he went to those in the grave. Well, this is like being in the grave. You might as well be dead. You're dead. You know, you see people talk about, especially in the Jewish community, if you go back far enough, you are dead to me. Okay? People would say that to their children and family members who would do something, you are like dead to me. They would tear their clothes or whatever, you know, ashes and the whole thing. So when it talks about the grave and it talks about the jails, it's talking about this. But your church never told you that.